So let's talk about ROI calculations. For many years now, I've heard the criticism that HR is soft and fluffy. I think COVID went some way to changing that narrative. However, I do believe that the industry has historically not been great at putting numbers around what we do and what the impact of that is. And I'm about to change that for you. So let's talk about numbers. It is my belief and experience that your HR people can massively drive your productivity and your profit. Remember what I said at the beginning, exceptional HR ensures your people become your competitive edge for more profit, growth and sustainability. It has become a bit of an obsession for me, so much so that we've invested really heavily in a tool called Employee Metrics and an employee ROI calculator. In my decades of experience, I failed to come across a single business that doesn't have an employee leaky bucket. And I was surprised even at the big end of town that they have a lack of optics around this as well. Remembering these guys, these costs are often hidden. So just ask your manager what they think it's costing to have a disengaged or not engaged employee. What about a non-performer? They know it costs, but they don't know what it is. And often they don't know what to do about it when they've got one. So I want you to think about how you can start to make the case for building ROI and investing in your employees, because you can't afford not to. I wanted to share, for example, one of the areas I'm seeing businesses aren't investing in is the amount of ER legislation change. How many of your managers could confidently and compliantly exit an employee on the grounds of misconduct, for argument's sake? And could your managers identify that they've got volunteers, and do we have maybe a pay structure that's going to keep those volunteers or stars in the businesses for longer? So I want to whet your appetite here. I'm going to give you two ideas. Number one, are you aware of the current productivity of your employees per employee? Yes or no? It's basically the measurement of your revenue divided by your FTEs. In my opinion, you should be aiming for between 300 to 400%. So if you're paying them 100, they should be returning on average 300 to 400,000 worth of revenue. Yet we constantly come across businesses that are sitting at about 150, having had no idea what it's costing them to run so inefficiently until they did this work. So it's really essential you address those leaky buckets. Number two, I learned from an old business coach of mine, what doesn't get measured doesn't get done. So say, for example, you have a high performing employee leave in their probation, that could cost you about 40 grand. If you have a disengaged or not engaged worker, that's costing you 34% of their salary, you're just wasting it. Or if you have 20 disengaged employees, what's that costing you? Or you can't keep your new hires. So you can start to see that these costs are adding up. Check out our employee metrics tool, which will show you where you're at from a risk and compliance and best practice point of view. And also it would help you prioritize your focus in the long term. So time to think about some things again. How many new hires left in their first 6 months? And do you measure engagement? Engagement is a measure of discretionary effort. Who is measuring that? And just to give you a quick tip, 64% is the Australian average, which is way too low.